Hi there guys, I'm Danny and welcome to today's episode of All Monsters Go to Space. Today I'm going to be talking about Japanese Daruma dolls. So this red, round, hollow traditional doll are made to look like the creator of Zen Buddhism, Bodhidharma. Typically red and bearded, they are a symbol of good luck and a tool used to help you accomplish your goal. But more on that part later. They vary in design depending on their region and are very popular gifts and especially souvenirs. The colours vary the most and each have a specific meaning, like the Maneki-nekos. The red is for good luck and good fortune, gold is for wealth, white for love and peace, yellow is security and protection, and the purple is if you wish for health and longevity. More modern colours are silver for social status goals, blue is for education and work, orange for goals pertaining specifically to success at school, green is health and fitness, black is for protection, mainly against bad luck, and the most obvious pink for the love goals. These figures, ranging in size, are normally always made from washi paper and were only made in winter traditionally as the cold water was needed to make them. They were created to look as though the figure was sat in the zazen posture, shrouded by the traditional clothing of a monk, like how Bodhidharma is almost always portrayed. Some believe the figure has no arms or legs because of a very gory legend that Bodhidharma sat in the zazen meditation pose for 9 years, and because of this his arms and legs atrophied and fell away. But this is just a legend. Another way these dolls have changed over time is with their facial hair. Even today you'll notice each one is slightly different. That is because they are all handmade, and so the designs vary from artist to artist, region to region, and as no signature is the same every time, neither is a Daruma doll's beard. So originally their facial hair were snakes and dragons, but this was then changed to cranes for eyebrows and tortoises for whiskers because they symbolized longevity. In Japan they have a proverb for this: the crane lives for 1,000 years, the tortoise 10,000. Another quirk of these dolls are their big, blank, staring eyes. They have a purpose. When you have picked or received a doll, you would pick a goal that you wanted to achieve and then paint in one of its eyes. Some figures even have a white heart on their back where you can write said goal. So after you've done this step, you put the figure where you can see it and be reminded and motivated. Once you have achieved your goal, you then fill in its other eye. It is believed that you do this to motivate the Dharma to grant your wish, in a way blackmailing him by going, "Help me achieve my goal and I'll give you your other eye." Others believe it is actually meant to represent enlightenment by having both eyes open. Traditionally, these figures were brought by the head of the household and used for a communal goal, and only the head of that household could actually fill in the eyes. So a little info on the Bodhidharma himself. He was a Buddhist monk during the 5th to 6th century AD, and he created Zen Buddhism, Chan Buddhism in China, but was also believed to be the father of martial arts. He once meditated continuously for 9 years and is usually depicted in artwork wearing red robes and sat in the zazen pose. And since he is the inspiration for the dolls, they're very closely associated with the temple of Daruma, Daruma-dera, in Takasaki City in the Gunma Prefecture in Tokyo. So the origin of the figures themselves is an old one and a slightly sad but hopeful one. They were made by local farmers who needed to make enough money to live off during a very tough economic time, and they also hoped the charms would get them blessed by the monks of their area. It is believed that they originated when the priest Togaku found a way to appease the people who were asking for new charms. The demand became too much, and so the people were then trusted to make their own at the start of the Meiwa period, 1764 to 72. The temples had then made molds for them to use, and the poor would use paper to create them, as it was cheap and moldable, and it was a very easy material for them to make. A funny little quirk with these figures is that they could tumble, and I believe some still do, whilst always returning to an upright position, as most were weighted at the bottom. This characteristic gave the figure a new meaning. They now represented okiyagari, meaning to get up and rise, a sign of perseverance, overcoming adversity, and recovery. It also led to a new proverb, Nana karabi yaki, fall down 7 times, get up 8. Now there is another reason why these figures are red. We already mentioned the red robes of the monks, but it is also believed to have played a part in recovery from illness, most specifically smallpox. During the late Edo period, 1600 to 1868, there was an outbreak of this illness, and many people believed that the colour red could pacify the god of smallpox. Even to this day, throughout Japan, you can actually see red shrines. Daruma dolls could be, and were given to people who had fallen ill or had someone in the household fall ill with smallpox. It was to help aid them on their way to healing, warning, but could also be used as a signal to others that smallpox was present. It is also believed though that these charms only have an effectiveness of 1 year. But what did they do with the old ones, you may ask? Well, at the end of the year, people would return to the temple that they had brought their Daruma from, and here they would have the traditional burning ceremony, the Daruma Kuyo. It's usually done right after the new year, and the two most famous temples this celebration took place at are Nishi Arai Daishi Temple in Tokyo and the Dairu Temple in Gifu. At this event, people would express their gratitude to the figures, while monks read sutras and blew horns. When all the thousands of dolls had been collected, they were ritually burnt. Now, if you want to see a festival for the Daruma doll, there is one every year in Japan. Its date changes because it does happen after the new year, but it's normally at the beginning of the first month. And it's called the Daruma Ichi, and it's normally held by the Takasaki city, the proclaimed birthplace of the doll. There is also one at Shorinzan. It is said that over 400,000 people from all over the Kanto region come to buy new dolls. Takasaki actually produces 80% of the dolls. In this festival, you can even attend the 24-hour reading of the sutras by the Shorinzan monks. And if you can't get to Japan, you can buy figures online and play the few games the Japanese have created, all of which are inspired by the dolls. There is the Daruma Atashi. This is a 5-piece game. Each piece has a different colour. There is a head, then a blue, green, yellow, and then red piece. Using the small hammer that's not included, you must knock out one piece, starting from the bottom and working you up to the top, and you cannot let any of the pieces fall. It's a little like Jenga. And another popular game is Daruma-san ga koronda. The Daruma fell over. I believe a lot of people will know this game as red light, green light. So one person is at the front and turns away from the group and says Daruma-san ga koronda, normally getting faster towards the end, like Daruma-san ga koronda, and then they turn around. If anyone is caught moving, wobbling, or falling over, then they're out of the game. Also, I found out that snowmen are sometimes called Yuki Daruma or Snow Daruma. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this and learned something new. I know I did. Leave a like, subscribe and comment. Also hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our other videos, and I'll see you next time. Bye!